sorry. Camera's a bit low there. Anyway, hi there everyone. I wanted to give my honest thoughts on something that I pre-ordered last month, and I thought it wasn't due out until next month in February, but it turns out that the company All the Anime have decided to move the release forward to, well, now. As the item was dispatched on Thursday, yeah, 48 hours tracked Royal Mail it was sent, so yeah, that means it arrived on, well, just yesterday, that being Saturday the 21st, yeah, yes, it's Sunday 22nd when I'm doing this. So, yeah, a series that I can just talk about for hours, just an absolutely fantastic series, of which I missed getting the original deluxe Blu-ray release of last year because it was just so uber expensive. This time round, all the anime have had a pre-order, which I noticed on their sale, even though the price actually kind of remained as it was. Maybe they changed their mind soon after the pre-order was over, because it was supposed to have ended on Christmas Eve, but the next time I checked it, which was at the start of January, the pre-order price was still the same. It hadn't increased or anything like that, so I thought, well, that's rather odd, but yeah, it's just one of them things. So yeah, they must have had a few changes of plans. So I don't know if the hopefully it wasn't because not as many people pre-ordered or whatever, but that may have been a thing because lots of people, or quite a few amount of people, had gotten the deluxe version from last year, or or maybe they'd gotten a lot more pre-orders than they thought, and maybe they thought, or maybe, you know, we can we've got enough orders, we can you know, make at least the pre-orders. We have enough money to make the pre-orders, and we just send those out, or something. Yeah, I think this is. They've also produced some copies to retail, but of course, like the last one, this is a limited edition. So once this is gone, I think from all the Animes on Warehouse or what stores they were sending these copies to, of this complete set, once they're gone, they are gone. So I thought, yeah, I'm not going to miss my chance again, because this is the only way that I would be able to get a hold of a particular version of this. And of course, I'm referring to Neon Genesis Evangelion. Freaking love this anime. Yeah, the box. Yeah, it's not as mind-blowing as the deluxe version. You have the logo. That's just printed. That's just printed. A little bit of info there. That's just printed. Nothing on the top. The front logo is ever so slightly embossed, though, even though it's just the words Neon Genesis Evangelion. But yeah, if, of course, if you're familiar, you're thinking, or if you're new to this, you're thinking, oh, that's quite a bland logo. Well, that's actually this is the Evangelion logo. It's just how they it's just how it is. Let's just get one of the old ADV films releases. So yeah, there you are. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering, yes, I am keeping the DVDs. Because reasons. Yeah, mostly the fact that this is, of course, a set that's full of extras and everything, but for obvious reasons, not everything from the previous ADV films or manga releases are going to be on this, for the fact that, you know, they were owned or produced at the time by those companies, and they just can't get the clearance. But anyway, actually, it wasn't completely like this. You do get this, you know, the bog standard little sheet that they print on the back. and that sort of thing. The cellophane had a 15 sticker slapped on it, so that you know, just to prove that, you know, it's a 15, but it's on the discs. So as long as it's on the discs, it's all legal. But it's actually quite nice not to have the logo on the box on the front, because otherwise, I mean, it's understandable, but it kind of just ruins it otherwise. Yeah, if you want to just look and see for yourself what the bonuses are, you can pause the video, and I'll also make sure that you get everything. So again, if you want to pause, just read what's on the actual DVDs, you can. And of course you got screenshots, of course, on the back. And of course this is a region B set, so this is only going to be viewable in areas of region B, so mostly the slightly richer power regions, or pretty much. Yeah, well, apart from that, actually, you may have noticed it said poster as a bonus. I don't know why they included this as a bonus, because oh dear. Anyway, this is the poster. It's just basically them advertising the regular version of Neon Genesis Evangelion on Blu-ray. This is the version that you can get for far cheaper. This is only about £50, which I know what you're saying. You know, oh, that's a bit much. But then this is an anime and a Blu-ray, and both tend to be slightly a bit more expensive than DVD. But for that, it's quite reasonable. So yeah, this is of course HMV. Oh yeah. The only I think the only actually no, tell. I was going to say the only store that they have is probably their mega store in Birmingham. But no, they actually do own a small store somewhere near Covent Garden. It's not called HMV. It's given a different name. I can't remember what it is. But yeah. Yeah, HMV. I mean, you can also get it online. Obviously, that's what they're all doing. You know, just, you know, if all else fails, just get it online. Especially after the last couple of years we had. Dear me, yeah, I don't know why they included this as a bonus. It's just an advertising poster. I mean, some people might like it. I just think of it being, yeah, I could care less about the poster, to be quite honest. Obviously, the real reason is the Blu-rays themselves. One particular subset. But yeah, let's talk about this, because I've seen videos of the original release, and well, as you can see, this release only has them all in purplish blue. Actually, I think it's the same kind of, they're trying to emulate the same kind of purple, I guess, as Ava Unit 1's armor. Hold on, I'll show you. There's a picture of Ava Unit 1 at the top there. So I think they were going for that sort of purple, even though that one, you can tell it's a bit brighter than this. So maybe, yeah, I was going to say either that, or they were going for the colour of the original Japanese Blu-ray release. Because I think this is what this is supposed to. It's supposed to be like the Japanese release, but obviously with English. You've got 3 sets there, all the same colour. Now, in the deluxe version, each colour is different. I think you got the one that's red, one that's orange. I think one was still purple, but still you could tell them apart though, thinking, oh, okay, and I'll get the orange one. Oh, okay, I'll get the red one. But no, with this, you actually have to look to see what it says. And although you can just about see what each section is, still, you'd think they would have identified them a bit more with giving it a bit more colour. So that's why I like to call this version the bland version. It's not bland on extras or whatever, but it's definitely bland in terms of packaging and whatnot. Anyway, we might as well just go through them all. And by the way, yeah, they all just have the same Neon Genesis Evangelion thing on there. This is the series of movies. Yeah, this is basically the version you can also get in stores. I didn't realise I didn't put that back in. Probably it's fine. It's Blu-rays. They're like practically indestructible. But yeah. So yeah, you get 5 Blu-rays in this set. So yeah, basically, as I said, this is basically the store version, the same version you get in stores. Okay, I'll just go through the because it's just easier for me to. Yeah, it's just easier for me to read because it does tell you what they say. What each disc contains, but I'll just read them. It's just easier. Okay, disc 1 contains the episodes Angel Attack, The Beast, A Transfer, Hedgehog's Dilemma, Ray 1, Ray 2, and A Human Works are the first 7 episodes. Disc 2 has episodes 8 through 14. Asuka Strikes, Both of You Dance Like You Want to Win, Magma Diver, The Day Tokyo 3 Stood Still, She Said, Don't Make Others Suffer for Your Own Personal Hatred, Lilliputian Hitcher, and Weaving a Story. Disc 3 has episodes 15 through 20. Those being Those Women Long for the Touch of Others' Lips and Thus Invited Their Kisses. Yeah, some of the episodes do have extremely long titles that way, like that. Episode 16, Splitting of the Beast, Fourth Children. That's supposed to be fourth child, but yeah, it's directly from it's directly translated from the Japanese, and that's what the Netflix dub does. I'll get on to that in a sec. Ambivalence, Introjection, and Weaving a Story to Oral Stage. With bonus content, yes, let's do some bonus content. Title free opening, 30-second next episode preview, TV commercials for the Japanese VHS release, TV commercials for the original soundtrack, TV commercial for the Sega Saturn game. Yes, there was a Sega Saturn game. TV commercials for magazines. Don't know what that was about. TV premiere promos, Japanese voice auditions, and Genesis 0.000. It's don't know how you read that, but yeah, it's meant to be like meant to be invoking a Bible passage, because again, Hideaki Anno just wanted to include lots of Christianity references because he was depressed or whatever. Sorry, can I see Mercy Mile on there? Also, In the Beginning, Image Board Collection, Japanese Blu-ray box commercial, so basically the Japanese version of this, and music videos, The Cruel Angels, The. I think there was a slight misprint there. I think it's meant to be The Cruel Angels Thesis, not just The. So, whoops, a little bit of a printing hiccup there, but, well, we know what it is if you're into Ava. Yeah, so on the other side, which I had to take out the disc so that I'll be able to read it. Right, disc 4 contains episodes 21 through 26, so the last chunk of the series. He Was Aware That He Was Still a Child, Don't Be, Ray 3, The Beginning and the End, or Knocking on Heaven's Door, Do You Love Me, and Take Care of Yourself. And yeah, again, there's a thing, I'll get to that in a second in regard to those episodes. Bonus content, animatic collection for quite a few episodes. So you've got animatics for Both of You Dance Like You Want to Win, Those Women Long for the Touch of Others' Lips and Thus Invited Their Kisses, Ambivalence, sorry if I mispronounced that earlier, Introjection, Weaving a Story to Oral Stage, He Was Aware That He Was Still a Child, Don't Be, Ray 3, The Beginning and the End, or Knocking on Heaven's Door, Do You Love Me, and Take Care of Yourself. So they've got a lot of animatics for all those episodes I just mentioned. Actually, I might as well point this out. Originally, there was actually 2 versions of episodes 21 through 24. Of course, these were the TV versions and the director's cut. And for the Blu-ray release, this is for the standard version and all throughout all the recent releases, only the director's cut is present, not the TV version. I'll say this because you're not really missing much with the original TV broadcast version. It's just that the original TV broadcast had a few moments of alternate animation. That's it. Like, for example, in the episode Ray 3, when Ritsuko was explaining to Shinji and Misato about how they first created the Evangelions, in the TV version, there was just a huge skeletal form that was just lying on the ground. I think it was like a precursor to Unit Zero or something. It looked like it. We kind of actually see that as well in the movie. We kind of like lots of Unit Zero heads with backbones and stuff like that. It was kind of like that. Oh no, I think it was just a skeleton. Yeah, I was getting confused. Yeah, but it was a skeletal form. But in the director's cut version, when Ritsuko was doing this, like the dialogue is the same. Nothing's changed with the dialogue, but the animation is different. Or at least what we see, because instead of having a huge skeletal form, we saw several pits, and they're all full of bones and stuff like that. So yeah, it's only small moments like that. Slight changes to the animation is really the thing that that the director's cut had over the TV version. Would have been nice if the TV version, or at least them appear at least those scenes appearing maybe as deleted scenes or something could have been included, but oh well. But because this is actually a release that was closely monitored by Klarna, Studio Klarna, which is Hideaki Anno's. Yeah, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I do apologise. But then the guy has issues sometimes. Oh dear. I mean, I get his vision, but sometimes, yeah, he needs to liven up. Come on. I mean, yeah. Supposedly he's now livening things up with his new Japanese media Shin franchise, but who knows how that's going to go. But anyway, yeah, the guy does need to line up sometimes. You know, he needs a bit of levity. And of course, we all know how notoriously depressed he was when he was producing this series. Anyway, yeah, it would have been nice just to add those scenes included, like as bonus deleted scenes. As far as I'm aware, this doesn't mention anything about those sort of bonus scenes, but oh well, that's it. You're not really missing anything. The director's cut actually, and that's the thing they want. He wanted, wanted the director's cut versions to play more prominence because they do add a lot more. And add a lot more to the series. They wanted to in the original TV broadcast version, but couldn't because of time and budgeting restraints or whatever. So that's what happened. The only thing though is that if you're watching it with a particular English dub, some of the cast is different because, well, I'll get onto that in a minute when we get to the secondary set. Anyway, so I'll just mention disc 4. Disc 5, the last one in this, is of course the movies. Evangelion, Death True 2, and The End of Evangelion. Now, but what basically that is the clip show movie, Evangelion Death, because originally it was put together with, I'll just go right here, with another film called Rebirth. So it was originally Death and Rebirth. But what Rebirth basically is like the first 20 minutes of the End of Evangelion, or at least the first episode of the End of Evangelion, because if you know, it's split into 2 segments, which are pretty much supposed to be like the TV episodes. So it's like the first 20 minutes or so of Air, Love is Destruction. And so you're not really missing much with Rebirth. Except, of course, that they had a different ending song, Soul's Refrain, which is included, actually, as a music video in this set. It's here in the bonus content for Disc 5. Once again, we've got the Genesis 0.0, The Light from the Darkness, The End of Evangelion, deleted live action scene, making of the said live action scene, theatrical trailer... theatrical teaser, theatrical trailer and theatrical teaser, TV spots, final scene, alternate take, full song, Musunda Hirate, I guess that was the song that they wanted to include but didn't, and episode 25, Love is Destruction, partial animatic. So again, we have another animatic from that. Actually, I think, I know what it is. I bet it's the scene where Asuka fights against the mass production neighbours, because we actually do see that in one of the... as an alternate preview. Yeah, in the director's cut, we see that as an alternate preview for instead of it going on to the episode 25 from the series, it goes on to the movie, because obviously the movie, at least the End of Evangelion, is meant to be an alternate take on the ending, as we know, because Arno got lots of complaints over his original TV ending, which he still defends, as far as I'm aware. Maybe, who knows. Anyway, Disc 5 also has music videos. Yeah, Soul's Refrain, as I mentioned, by Yuko Takahashi. Thanatos If I Can't Be Yours by Lauren and Mash. Armageddon by Shiro Sagisu, who is the main composer of the series. Tengoku no Kikoku by Megami Hayasabara, who is, I think, Ray in the series. Played it, yeah. Listed on Blu-rays as Memories of Heaven. Okay, no, yeah, that's just his original name. But that's on Disc 5. Now this set, this first one, of course, has the original Japanese with English subtitles and the Netflix dub. Yeah, the Honor-approved Netflix dub. Oh, I've only seen little bits of it. I haven't actually seen it proper. I might just give the alternate dub a chance just to see, but if they're staying true to the original Japanese, I bet one thing that they're going to do, which is going to be annoying as all hell, but Arno just doesn't get it because he doesn't get the English language, I don't think, if that happens to be the case, is in the original Japanese version, each individual child pilot in Evangelion is referred to as, in the original Japanese version, like the first children, the second children, the third children. And Arno doesn't get the fact that children, the actual word, is a plural, meaning more than, not the singular, which is why the ADV films and manga dubs of the TV series and movies, what they did obviously was they wisely went with child. So first child, second child, third child, because it makes sense because they are a child, they're a singular. That is what it is. They probably just say, oh, poor Arno just didn't quite grasp the English language that much. So yeah, there you go. Okay, well, that was the first one. The first case of this 3-case set. Here is number 2. Can you tell the difference? Unless you can actually physically hold them and know there's more disc in this one than this one, then no. See, that's what I mean by it's all just all bland and coming together. Oh, and all the backs are black. By the way. Yeah, this is the additional bonus. So thinking, oh, okay, then this must be pretty big. And again, maybe this would have had those alternate scenes, but nope. What it is, it's a single disc, and contained in this single disc is the End of Evangelion video format version. So it's a video format version of episode 25, Love is Destruction, and One More Final I Need You. Why couldn't this be put in one of the other sets? I don't know, I mean, this is just like it says. It's the video format version of End of Evangelion, which I think it's pretty much the same, but with little differences. I think they were treating it a lot more like there were 2 separate TV episodes rather than a continuous movie. At least I think that's the purpose of this. Well, they just want you to include it, so there you go. But still, this could have just been added onto one of the other cases. This would have saved a lot of space and a lot of manufacturing costs. So it would have actually been a lot cheaper just to put this disc in with one of the other 2. But oh well. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering, it's only in Japanese with English subtitles. There is no assigned dub to this. So yeah. So basically, you're just getting the Japanese version of End of Evangelion, which I do not mind very much that we're getting more versions of End of Evangelion, though I just wish that the disc would have been planted into one of the other cases, like this one. Again, you cannot tell what it is unless you actually look on the side. So yeah, this is the bonus series and movies classic version. So yes, this is the one that a lot of hardcore Evangelion fans, whatever, this is what you really want this box for. Oh, by the way, you don't get that 6 disc of that 6 disc. That's only exclusive to this set. It's not on the standard release. But yeah, the standard release only has 5 discs, which, as I said, has the original Japanese with English subtitles as well as the Netflix dub. But this one, of course, has everything. It's all the same episodes on the same discs. But, of course, it's the original ADV films / manga dub. So yes, this has Spike Spencer, Alison Keith, Tiffany Grant, Amanda Wing Lee, all them lot. This is the one. This is the set that that features them. So discs 6 through 10? Yeah, 7, sorry. Disc 7 through 10 has the series, and disc 11 has the movies. So again, Death True 2 and The End of Evangelion. But this time around, of course, it's the ADV film / manga dub. And as far as extras go, there are no extras. None whatsoever. Not even the original TV broadcast version of episodes 21 through 24, as I've mentioned. Just wow. ADV Films did that with their release. They gave you the TV broadcast ones as well as the director's cut ones. That makes sense. That makes absolute perfect sense. But you don't get that with this release. But again, as I mentioned, this is probably because this release was more or less controlled by Arno himself, or at least Studio Klarna, and they had a lot of things to say. They probably said, oh, ditch the TV version episodes of 21 through 24, just give them the director's cut versions. Which, again, nothing wrong with the director's cut. The director's cut actually gives you a lot more than the original TV versions. It just would have been nice just to include those as an extra because of the slight changes in animation in certain scenes, as I just described earlier. That's all. You know, it just would have been nice to include that. And I'm just trying to think. Yeah, this has it in 5.1. There was. I'm just trying to think because this is the original manga DVD. I'm just trying to think. Was there? Yeah, there was a 6.1 DTS ES surround sound mix. I don't know. Maybe that didn't take off as well as the 5.1. Yeah, I think that was the one that had like really. It can have like really booming sound if you got like certain speakers. Maybe that didn't take off. Maybe that's why I didn't include that in that version. Which okay, fair enough. Because I knew there was like there was a yeah, there was a stereo, there was a 5.1, and there was another audio track. But I'm guessing they just went away with that. But yeah, with this you get the 5.1 and you got stereo throughout, I believe. Yeah, Japanese 5.1 2.0 and English 5.1 2.0, and that's, I'm guessing, for both dubs. That's both the Netflix and the original ADV Films / manga entertainment dub. Yeah, they keep calling it the Netflix dub. It was done by New York Audio Visual Post or whatever, NYAV Post. Yeah, I think that's what the company's called. Poor NYAV. But NYAV, they seem to be the people who like to clean up other dubbers' messes. It looks like it, because they always get this sort of thing. Of course, first of all, they did Evangelion, but then recently they've also redubbed the entirety of Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny. Oh dear, it's like they can't catch a break. They can't catch. I think they have done a couple of original productions, but they seem to be the one that you know, if people aren't satisfied with a particular dub, they'll get them to do a new dub. It seems like that's definitely the case of Evangelion and with those aforementioned Gundam series I mentioned. So yeah. And oh yeah, all the anime are doing those as well. They had like an Uber Deluxe set for Seed, and they've done one for Seed Destiny as well, which have both dubs included as well as the Japanese with English subtitles. But when you get the bog standard retail version, they're only going to have the new dub over the original Ocean dub. But then people, if you want the Ocean dub, just get like the old DVDs, you know, or something. Oh dear, it's just you know. I mean, yeah. I mean, alternate dubs. I mean, alternate dubs of lots of things. I mean, look at Akira. You know, it's famous for its alternate dubs. Actually, yeah, it only had two: the Streamline Pictures dub and the 2001 Neon dub. But yeah, and of course, Dragon Ball Z being another one that's quite infamous for their dubs. Oh, several dubs. I mean, even like ones from foreign countries. That sort of thing. Actually, that brings a point. Was Neon Genesis Evangelion? It may have actually been dubbed in Southeast Asia. I don't know. And then, but you can imagine what the voices are going to be like. Oh dear. Oh, they'll just be wow. Anyway, back on track. Sorry. The set overall. I mean, by the way, the box itself, very, very nice, sturdy. It's cardboard, but it's like the reinforced cardboard. So it's a nice, sturdy box. Can't argue with the box. The box itself, material-wise and how it's done, is absolutely nice. Thoughts? I mean, I haven't seen everything, but thoughts so far. The set, in terms of being on Blu-ray, I've actually seen the end of Evangelion while I was having dinner yesterday, because why wouldn't I? Because it is, at least to me, a great movie. Of course, your mileage may vary because it's Hideaki Anno. It's a very controversial film. But I just love it. But then again, I just love this series. And by the way, no, I have not seen the final Rebuild film. And I am not going to see the last Rebuild film until they've put it out on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. So I can purchase a physical release along with the others. And I can finally see it dubbed. Yes, you heard me right, dubbed. I mean, yeah, if they just go with the original if it does get released and they just decided we're not going to go with dub and just do it with Japanese, I might bite the bullet and just watch it just in Japanese with English subtitles. However, I do want it to be dubbed. They just need to do this one last film. Apparently some twit on Wikipedia has decided to put the entire End of Evangelion cast in with the English dub when there has not been a planned English dub for it yet, because it has not been planned to be released on DVD and Blu-ray yet. On Amazon, you can get the film, but it's only in Japanese with English subtitles. I don't know, maybe that's going to be the way it's going to be, unless they put out an Uber set, in which case I have to double dip on the first 3 films again, unless what is it? Unless Studio Klarna decided to get these again, get poor MYAV whenever back together again and say, hey, new Evangelion cast, we want you to do the rebuild films as well, including the first ever dub of the 4th film. And I'll be like, really? Do I have to watch the first 3 films again with the new cast? No, I already know what happens in the first 3 films. And also, I want Spike Spencer. Come on, get him in for one last time. Go on, I want Anson Keith. I want Tiffany Grant. Go on, get them back in. It's just for one last film. Damn it. Come on. Make it happen. But if they do that, that would be brilliant. You know, just to keep the cast consistent, just for the one final film, that would be great. But, and of course, Funimation had done the dub for the new rebuild films for the first 3. So, who knows? Maybe they're having some trouble sorting out. Maybe if it's Arno and he's probably put his foot in it somewhere. Who knows? I have got absolutely no idea. Anyway, again, back to this. But at least I've got like the original series, which I do love the original series, and I do love End of Evangelion. I will admit that. But as a whole for this set, I've only, of course, seen a couple of bits of the discs and what they have to offer, and I said it's mostly good. I said it was just a few things, obviously, like the 6th disc could have been placed in one of the other 2 sets. We could have done with maybe having the original TV broadcast version. I mean, even if it was just they didn't have to like include the ADV Films version, because whatever. But actually no, that was it. There was something I was going to mention. When the series was first dubbed by ADV Films and Manga, what happened was ADV Films did the first 26 episodes as normal, so they did that. Then Manga got the rights to do the movies, and they got as much of the cast they could as possible to return to reprise their roles at the time. And then ADV Films knew about the director's cut episodes, and they thought, oh, okay, then we'll do 2 new DVDs, and they'll have the director's cut versions of those episodes on them as well as the TV versions. I thought, oh, that's awesome. But what happened was, obviously, since these were dubbed after the movies, they got most of the cast back in, as many as they could, but a few of the cast members they couldn't get, so they had to recast them, similar to how the movies had to do it. So yeah, if you're watching the ADV Films version and wondering what happened to some of the voices when you get to episode 21, that's why they're using the director's cut episodes, and some of the voices they had to recast. Like Ioba, the long-haired guy, one of the nerve controllers, who's usually at the console. You see him like play guitar strum his guitar a couple of times. But yeah, he's either doing that or is at one of the consoles. Can't remember the original actor's name, but yeah, for the director's cut, because nobody knew what was going on at the time, this, that, and the other. But I'm only going to mention his name once. But in the ADV Films director's cut version, Ioba was played by Vic Mignogna. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that very messy subject. But yeah, that is why. So if you had a different voice, that's why you're watching the director's cut version, and that's the only version that they used. Some people said, "Oh, both versions are on it," and they're not. They're not. They only have one set of listings for episodes 21 through 24. They don't say TV version, director's cut version, like the ADV Films release did. It's just one version, and that's the director's cut version. Mostly because Arno just wanted the director's cut version because it does add more. You're not losing out in stuff like dialogue. There wasn't any dialogue changes. It's just a lot more was added. But unless you were watching the original ADV Films version, yeah, you're going to notice a bit of a difference. Obviously, not so much a problem with the Netflix version because they knew up to episode 20 when they were dubbing episodes 21 through 24, they said, just do the director's cut version. Okay, then that's fine. So that's what they've done with the Blu-ray release. They go straight from like the regular TV version straight to the director's cut for episodes 21 through 24. Fine, absolutely fine. With ADV films, obviously it wasn't that simple, since obviously they did the original TV version and then they had to go back and do the director's cut version. So if it was all done at the same time, they probably would have presented it at the same time and they would have had the same cast members. But sadly, they didn't, and it's just one of them things. So that's why you'd have a bit of a vocal voice shift, and that's why it might be jarring to some, but it's just what happens. And then, especially since some of the voices change back for the end of Evangelion movie and Death True 2, it's just like, yeah, it's. I mean, it's, a couple of voices would still had to be recast because at the time manga couldn't find a couple of the original actors, but again, it's just how it is. And that's probably why they think of the. That's probably why Ono thinks the Netflix dub is superior, because it's the same cast throughout. But at least that's because they planned it. They planned to do episodes 1 through 20 of the TV version, 21 through 24 of the director's cut, then do episodes 25, 26, and then the movie straight afterwards, using the same cast. And yeah, like I said, I might appreciate the new dub for what it does, but I'm always going to have a soft spot for the original voices. I mean, come on. And that's another thing. Perhaps they could have got one major bonus feature to be included on this, which obviously I know they haven't because clearance and everything else. But it was a great little Easter egg. It was on the last volume of the ADV Films release. It was Spike Spencer in character as Shinji doing a rant. You can actually find it online. It's it's hilarious. Does the bus run through here? Oh, you definitely need a lot of levity after everything that's happened to poor Shinji during the series. Trust me. Oh boy, if you've seen Evangelion, you'd appreciate, how. Well, you might do, you might not do. I don't know, but you'd appreciate how sometimes people can try and like poke fun at a few things, but that's only because there's a bit of levity to, because everything is it's all depressing and it can all be going to hell and that kind of thing. But yeah, and again, some people are still baffled by the ending to End of Evangelion and everything, and thinking, but then again, it's supposed to have meaning to different people, or it has different meanings to different people. I mean, that was supposedly the point, according to Arno, but yeah, who knows. But yeah, like I said, I can just talk about this show for hours. I just freaking love Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I'm glad to have gotten this box set. So I've got the Blu-ray. Yeah, definitely recommend getting this if you are especially if you're a fan of the original dub. If you couldn't care less about what dub you get, whatever, then this isn't really going to be for you. You can just just pick up the cheaper 50 quid version with the if you don't really care about the Netflix dub, it doesn't matter. All these. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, the classic dub version. Oh, whatever. Yeah. The classic dub set also, of course, contains Japanese with English subtitles. So you're covered. If you're just a big fan of the original Japanese, doesn't matter what you buy, you're covered. It's always going to have the original Japanese with English subtitles because, it's a Japanese anime. Of course, it's going to include the original Japanese with English subtitles. So you're covered regardless. It's really, if you're a fan of the classic dub, then if you've missed out on that other release, the deluxe version with the big art book and the cards, if you're not really that bothered by it, then get this. This is probably going to be the version which distributors are going to try and perhaps keep in print as long as possible, just to appease to everyone. But who knows? Who knows? But as I said, this itself, like the last release, is a limited version. Once this is gone, it's gone. I got this directly from All the Anime shop, which I'm not sure if I don't know if this they're probably not taking pre-order. They might still be taking pre-orders, or they're actually taking orders for boxes now. I haven't checked. So yeah, just do be aware that they may have sold out on pre-orders by now. In which case, yeah, the only chance of you getting something like this is to track down somebody who's going to sell a set, or someone else that's selling copies of the set, or perhaps try and go for the the other deluxe version, but at a reasonable price. But just beware, though, of course, of the region, since all these Blu-rays, depending on where you come from, are all region locked. So if you buy an American one, they're locked to region A. So that means you need to have a excuse me, sorry, you need to have a multi-region player in order to play those Blu-rays. And the same thing if you're like importing region B for some reason. But yeah, just try to stick to the region where you buy from, and you should be fine. So yeah, that's a big. So really, at the moment, my three biggest gripes are lack of the TV version, but only just because of the new animation. I'm just stickler for trying to have everything as possible. And this is supposed to be a set that's supposed to have everything. I mean, they went out of their way to give us an alternate version of the end of Evangelion, which is basically treating it a bit more like it was 2 TV episodes. So that's kind of and you could have added the TV versions of episodes 21 through 24. Why? But oh well. Just as a bonus, but there you go. That and the disc needing to... Sorry, my voice is starting to go because got a bit of a cold, so I do apologise. That and that disc itself could easily have been put into one of the other 2 slots, so it shouldn't have. So it probably would have just been better off as 2 rather than 3. But what are you going to do? And the silly, useless poster. Don't know why they included that, but other than that, yeah, I can't really argue so much with this set, especially since also for the price I paid for it. It was about £90, but that was reduced from 140. So yeah, that was quite a dramatic saving by Anime Ltd there. So yeah, if you're a fan of the dub, I would recommend picking this up. If you can track it down, but only if you're a fan of the original dub. But then again, if you're not really all that bothered again with high picture quality or whatever, then stick to your DVDs. Because like I said, with the DVDs, you still get stuff like you get audio commentaries and this, that, and the other, which they're not carried over to this set because of clearance issues and this, that, and the other. So yeah, so only if you're like a real that's stupid thing to say. Sorry, if you're just really into Evangelion, especially the dub, then I would recommend getting the set if you can. If not, then don't try and put yourself out of it, because it's still going to be a very expensive set. They probably still have it, but they've probably risen the price back up to that 140. I have got no idea, but yeah, just be aware that it can be very expensive. I mean, it would have been nice if they just would have had a release like the £50 one, but it just included the original dub. Have like 2 different versions released side by side, but who knows? Maybe they might convince Arno to do something like that, but again, who knows? Well, I've been rambling on for over 40 minutes over one of the what many consider to be a great anime masterpiece because of what it tried to do with the mecha genre and goes a lot deeper than what other mecha anime was intended to do. But yeah. But yeah, I'll stop now. So overall, that's my thoughts on the Neon Genesis Evangelion DVD Blu-ray box. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.